and
Well,
it
we
was showing
live
something
now.
totally different. Yeah, I see that.
We live.
I see that we're live now. Yeah, I
Yes.
see. But
So
it's not
let
on
me
your
do this
page.
again. I want to do the 30-second countdown. We're gonna do another 30-second countdown.
Oh,
Here we
there we
go.
go. All right.
Hello, 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 hello. George Grundy II, favorite veteran, the man with all the technical difficulty issues, userera.com. And we are here at OTM for, I guess this is technically, officially, the third episode, but the second episode, didn't get aired live, so I had to actually hit the go live button while Mr. Woodson was clowning the heck out of it. So I said a lot of little stuff. I was, all in my, like, doing the violin stuff, giving Mr. Woodson all these nice things, and said all this stuff. It's probably a good thing y'all didn't hear it. He's like, what? Who are you talking about? But yeah. But we are here at OTM, Out of the Mud, where ain't nothing easy around here in Flint, and the folks that are from Flint that stay here, we choose to do that because we love where we're from, and we know the potential of the environment that we're in. But again, I would like to give Art his flowers for being the person he is. I know, like what I said, people love him one day, they hate him the next day, and can't how to think about him the day after that. And he's built for that, and he really he swims in that energy. He loves it. So, but the thing is, with me, even when I was upset with him or confused about where he was at, or political points and things of that nature, or me and Art have had some very serious disagreements, like some serious ones, like where you at? Let's meet up. Like, no, where you? Let's throw them hands, type stuff. Even though we brothers, even though we cool, but the thing is, we're able to disagreements and still move forward and talk about stuff. And even he's been consistent with me when I've needed assistance and help. He's showed up. He's helped me at least get some time on situations to where I didn't have any more time left. He's shown up even recently, to help for me to even get a clairvoyance of certain things that I'm going through. And I appreciate him because, when I went through my situation of losing a lot of things I was dealing with, a few people just disappeared, but he was not one. Now he still got on my nerves at times, but he didn't leave. And that has to be commended, because when you have a person that is able to look in the mirror and deal with whatever issues and let you say whatever you're gonna say, as long as you can deal with what's coming back after you said it, then that's a great relationship to have. You ain't gotta always agree, as long as you agree with the point and purpose that you're all fighting for. Done. I'm done with the violence.
Hey man, listen. I mean, touching on what you said earlier. When people might like me today, right? Because I'm saying what it is that they like, or I'm fighting against somebody that they are enemies with.
Right.
And then tomorrow I might be fighting against somebody that they like or don't like. So I that lets me know that I keep it fair and I try to keep it equal, and hold people accountable in the public arena. I don't just go after anybody and everybody. It's people who works for the public. You know what I'm saying? And if they're not doing right and they're not doing what should be done for the city of Flint, and I found out about it, I'm gonna let the people. First, I'm gonna go to the table, and you've seen me do that before. I'm gonna go to the table and say, hey, you know what? We need to work this out, and you need to be fair to the people here in the city of Flint. And if they feel like they want to come out here and start trying to beast me and go against me, I'm gonna let the public know, this is what's going on, and this is why we out here fighting in the public, because they trying to hold on to something that the people need to know in the public. So that's the main
Right.
thing.
Gotcha. Understood. So,
The people need to know in the public.
man. So for me today, I wanna go off and like do a little history thing to going into who you are, Woodson. Where are you from? Where were you born and raised?
My name is Art Woodson. I was raised here in the city of Flint. I came here when I was 4 years old. I
So
went
where
to
are you originally from? Where were you born?
West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Yeah. And I came. My father brought me here when I was 4. Um, Originally, my mom is from New York, and she happened to be visiting my grandmother down in West Virginia,
Okay.
and she used to work for Congress, a congressman in D.C. So I was still down in West Virginia while my mom was working in D.C. So my pops came down to West Virginia and got me and brought me up here with his mom here in Michigan. I was raised by my grandmother and my aunt, and I went to Dordt Elementary School up until 4th grade. Then moved over on Moore and Sterling. Went to Merle School, Elementary School. Went to Holmes. Went to Northern. My grandmother passed away when I was in the 10th grade, and I dropped out in the 10th grade. So when she passed away, man, I was on the streets. I was gang banging. I was doing whatever the case, whatever it was, I was doing it. And I had never met my sisters before. So my 2 sisters came up here to Michigan to visit, and they was like, Art, you need to, come down south with us and go to school down there, So, you know, God be the glory, he touched my heart and told me, hey, that's what you need to do. So I had to make up for all the classes that I had failed when I had dropped out. I made up for all of them, and I came back up here to Michigan, Flint, after making up all my classes, and I graduated from Northern. I graduated June the 5th, and I went into the military June the 11th. I didn't want to, put no time in between, man, because if I put time in between, I probably wouldn't have done what I did. Then I went to the military, got out the military 6 months later, man, went to prison, making
How long did
credit
you
cards.
spend in the military?
7 years. So I was making credit cards, and you know that was the craziest thing, man. I didn't even know that I had issues, after getting out the military. Um,
Well, your job while you were in the military? What kind of stuff did you do in the military?
I was a nuclear biological chemical specialist. I was the one that told you to go to MOP 4, don your protective mask. You had the M8 alarms. I was in helicopters dropping radiac meters down in the cloud, mushroom cloud, uh, for nuclear bombs. I uh, I stood in the top, um, determining, if somebody got attacked with a Russian missile. You know how we used to always do Reforger. You was Marine, so I don't know if y'all did Reforger, but we did Reforger over in Germany with all the NATO countries, and we would do like mock fighting Russia, and you know, learning that 2/3 of Russia's missiles are laced with chemical warheads, VX gas, nuclear warheads. So all the time that we was out in the field, we was always uh, we was always practicing and uh, preparing for Russia. So it was totally different when we went to war with Saudi Arabia, because you practicing for the cold element, up north New York, I mean upstate New York, Alaska, Germany, because it's cold over there, and you turn around and you in a desert, and you ain't practiced, you ain't prepared for the desert. So my job
Right.
it consists of just being prepared for nuclear fallout, chemical warfare, this COVID. I consider this COVID a biological warfare. I believe that it's a war going on that people don't know about, and they thinking everything just now escalating, but it was, if you look at it, it was a lot of cyber attacks going on. There was a lot of different things going on that people haven't been paying attention to, and this COVID SARS, um, it had came out, I think, back in 2009, if I'm not mistaken, 2009, and it was gone. But what I think, and this is something that we look for, with the job that I had in the military, is biological warfare. Biological warfare meaning that it has to have a living organism. It's a living organism, and it can be a mosquito, it can be a flea. I mean, just different things like that. And I believe somebody spliced uh, the COVID and changed the RNA in it and weaponized it. And that's why you can't get a handle on it right now, because over in China, I mean, that's where it started, at Wuhan um, Research Center, and then it ended up at wet market. Um, I think that's what happened, and that's what I used to study and I used to watch for in the military.
Okay. Okay. Well, did you, out of all your time in the military, did you deploy at all?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I was a little bit everywhere, man. Different places, uh, TDYs. I uh, was over in Berlin, um, Switzerland, Spain. Uh, I mean, you name it, I was there. Just different locations. Somalia. I was in a whole lot of different places.
That's cool. So going back a little bit, so the title of today was, or the subject was going to be, what's the definition of real before transition and after transition from the streets. So you kind of a little bit went over your transitions, because you had a few. You had about 2 or 3 different transitions. You had transitions when it comes to family, when it comes to transitioning from hardships of the streets, transitioning to the military, back out of the military, and then the transition that we've seen, where now you're just super activist.
But I had to transition from prison too.
Right. That also.
So
Don't use this topic. He said we got to change the subject.
At the best thing about this topic is that we all got a different story to tell. All about transition is totally different. You can bring 100 people on here, and everybody's transition in life is different because God gives us all different lane and different gifts and different talents. And my story is totally different from your story, but both of them are good stories because both of us are still here to be able to say good morning, how you doing, God bless you, and God thank you for allowing me to live another day. So from like Joyce said, out of the mud, you know we, we all have been through some serious trials and tribulations, and we all have been in a storm. You have some people just not going into a storm. You have some people in a storm, and you have some people coming out of a storm. But it's how we handled it through the whole thing, through the whole ordeal. And as life goes on and as we progress, we start learning that support system is the best thing in the world. You can have all the money, you can have everything you want, but if you don't have a strong support system and a real support system, you done. You know what I'm saying? You gonna fall right back where you were, and that's one of the main things that I learned about the last transition, and that was coming out of prison. That transition taught me that I need to find God. That was the number one support. And once I found God, I found people who I can call at any time of night that wasn't on any bull crap, and they told me what I needed to know, not what I wanted to hear. And that was one of the main things, finding that real person. Like you said, George, earlier, we had got to the point to where we wanted to fight each other, but we was keeping it real, and the best thing
Our
about
versions of it, yeah.
right. And the best thing about it is the fact that, we're still here. We still together. We still call each other. And, we was having that discussion today where, we might not talk for 2 or 3 weeks, but, and be mad at each other. But as soon as you call and say, hey, I need some help, or I call and say, George, I need some help, we there for one another. We ain't taking it personal. Hey, we say what we say and keep it moving, and this is my opinion, and this is what I got to say to you.
Right. You're right. And that's I think that's the beauty, and that's the thing that we don't that part of it needs to be expressed a lot more into our community.
What's
So
that?
and and the children understand that communication beats all conflict.
Yeah,
Communication
definitely.
is always better than war. Everybody has the war and the ability to defend themselves, but should that even be an option? No. Now, discord to a point or disagree gonna be a part of life, but learning how to be able to deal with it without it becoming something more than what it should be, to do better at. Because
The
a
chipped out
great
part.
agreement or debate or is awesome.
You the chipped out part, George, and I'm not ashamed to tell people that I take group therapy, with other veterans, and I really enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? As far as sitting down and learning from other veterans, because I have PTSD. I'm a disabled veteran, PTSD, and that was a lot of stuff going on in my life that I didn't know, and it's an invisible wound, and a lot of people don't understand what it is. But like I tell everybody else, you know, PTSD isn't a military mental illness. Anybody can have PTSD if you was in a severe car accident, if you were molested when you were young, if you were raped when you was old, um, if you seen somebody get shot, or you know you've been shot. All this is post whatever traumatic happened in your life. You can have PTSD, post traumatic stress disorder, and I didn't know that I had this illness, or you know I was like this, and you know I go to these groups, man, because it's you know I go so that I can find out my triggers. You know what I'm saying? I can find out my triggers so that I can, you know, when I see something coming, I know how to remove myself from that situation, hopefully, if I'm not too far gone, you know. And I tell people all the time, you know, anger management, you know, I take it, and you know, it refreshes me and it helps me, because it has been a couple of times in the past couple of weeks that I wanted to snatch somebody through a drive-through window, you know, and if it wasn't for Danielle pulling my coat, I was getting ready to, you know, get busy with somebody, you know, recently, you know, but back in the day, it wasn't that easy, you know. Could nobody stop me? Could nobody do this? Could nobody do that? And you learn a support system. You learn how to at least cope with it. And I think, you know, here in Flint, we got a lot of stuff going on, and I think a lot of people need to really, you know, evaluate themselves, and their kids, especially because the lead has caused a lot of kids to have serious behavioral issues. And I think a lot of people need to seriously go talk to someone, and build a strong support system, man. That's what I feel.
I'm with you. You know, going off of just using what the concept of the Flint water crisis or the lead, you know, I remember you remember Tiffany
Yeah, Brown.
Brown.
Right.
So she was at, it was around the time when they wanted the former Cali to come around, and they were asking me questions about it, and I said it's like imagine being in a relationship, and, and you talking to your partner, and then you find out that your partner gave you a disease. Are you trust them ever? But you're not going to trust them, and it's going to be very difficult to trust them. And so, what we've gone through so many issues with hurt and pain, and you know those that want to just take our ideas and just sell us up the river, just want to take the money and act like they didn't. And we just got a lot of hurt, you know, not just the black folk, but white folk is like probably one of the purest melting pots of this country, because of background, because of General Motors, because of all of the intellectuals that came through here and the educators that came through here, and the infrastructure how we used to be. And with all that, we have to come back and figure out how to mend the communication and be able to move forward from all of this PTSD that we're dealing with. This whole city it has an extreme case of post-traumatic stress disorder. It is the opinion of what the rest of the country, whether minor or major, looks like when it comes to being subjected to pain and anguish, and from the being on top of the world to being kicked all the way down to the stump.
And you know what, George? You I, I mean, I say it all the time, man, that Flint is different. Trust is one of the major issues here in the city of Flint, man. And you can't fault the people here in the city of Flint for, you ask them to come out and fight. You know, they done came out and fought for so many years. For what? I mean, we fought the water crisis and we thought the lawyers was going to come here and we can relax, man. They're going to look out for our best interests. We got screwed in that. I sat back and thought that they was going to come fix the water. Guess what? The water isn't safe. We got screwed in that. The school system, they've been screwing us all our life with that, but it's getting better. It's getting better, though. I can honestly say that the school system is getting better. The governor said that she was going to do so much. We hadn't seen her in 4 years. Now we're getting ready to start seeing her now. There's so many different things, man, that has happened in the city of Flint. And then people want to say, oh, you know what? We only have 6% turnout. That's because people have gotten tired of hearing people come every 2 or 4 years saying that they're going to do something for the African American community, and they come here and do nothing. When they get in office, they do nothing. So how can you fault this community when they tired, burnt out? Now, I see people saying, you know what? I'm going to vote this last time. And if you don't get in there and do what you say you're going to do, we're going to burn this bitch down. That's what I see. And then they don't understand why people be frustrated and burning down things and tearing up everything, because people are tired of hearing lies and they tired of people saying that they're going to do something and they don't. And I mean, I totally get where they're coming from when they didn't reach that point. So when I'm out here fighting, man, for the people, I'm out here trying to give them a voice and hoping that the people who I'm going against listen so that they don't burn up everything, man. I think a lot of people need to be happy that a lot of people listening and seeing that somebody's out here fighting for them, because if they didn't see that and they didn't see any type of movement, I think it would be a whole lot worse than what it is. So a lot of these elected officials and leaders need to thank the activists that's out here taking the blows, because if we wasn't a buffer, I think Flint would be upside down right now.
Yeah, if you don't have people to navigate the places that you won't go, then those folks are going to end up igniting everything, because it's like, I don't have a bridge to whatever is supposed to be available, so I'm gonna burn it up because you won't have any of the resources.
Wow. Hey, what is that you call me? What is that you call me? I start laughing.
Oh, I call you. I constantly call you an anarchist. Because those were the things that used to confuse me with what you're saying. But then I'm like, okay, so once you burn out, then what kind of, and I ain't hear no plan behind it. It was just like, everybody evil, they need to go, and tearing it all down. Okay, that's great. But what's next? We got to have something. Where's the food and water gonna come from?
Hey, but what I learned, George, is when I was in prison, right? And the warden would tell us, they'd give us that little speech, you know what I'm saying, when we first get there. And one of the things that he told us, he said, I don't care if it's 10 to 15 people on the yard talking. I don't care. I want y'all to be in groups like that. I want you like that. He said, because if it's only two of y'all, I don't know what y'all talking about. He said, but when it's 15 people, I know what you're talking about, because at least 7 of those people works for me. And they're gonna come back and tell me what the plan is. So what I learned, man, you know, if a person if a person is real, and a person know, just by what I'm saying in conversation when I speak, they know what I'm doing. They know that I'm for the people. They know. Can't nobody say that I took a dime from anybody. I have never taken a dime from any foundation, any individual. Never. When I ran, huh? You was pointing
So
at
so
something.
I'm yeah, that's fine and cool because we spoke about that the other day. But my thing is this too, and not we spoke about it, so you clarified to me my thought process. I said that could be part of the game. That don't that part of the game that they play to make it seem like they for the team. That's just a part of the play. They took no money. I ain't did this. I ain't did that. Oh, you must be straight up. But then why is everything always confusing every time you come around? And you clarified that for me. So if you would, because I'm saying when it comes to strategy, when it comes to manipulation, it comes in different ways. You know, you could be a secret millionaire. We don't know. Just like when it comes to like the different political figures and the different companies and corporations that people say 30, I'm like, why? What are they getting out of it? Where's the money going? And then folks talk about the structures and all this other stuff. I'm saying that's too much for too little. Your end, you had made some statements that clarified.
I mean, if you sit back and watch, right, for 7 years, for more than 7 years, matter of fact, I done helped over 30 veterans get over $70,000 a piece. You know what I'm saying? Some they got 300,000, some they got 100,000, some they got 70,000. In their rating schedule. You know what I mean by that, and with their benefits. And they'll ask me, Art, what I need to give you. You don't have to give me nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? Just come to church, give a testimony, and let everybody know how you was at your wits end, and you didn't know where you was going, but God blessed you the day that you was ready to either leave your wife, take your life, do something. You know what I'm saying? That check came in that mail that day. You was at your wits end, and God showed you that He does love you and that He is looking out for you. Just give me a testimony. That's all I want. I don't want any money. For 7 years, I ain't got people's service lines changed. I done bought pallets of water. I didn't, drove around delivering food, for over 7 years. And not one time has anybody, and as much disturbance I caused, man, you know, rumors or something to be out here right now about me, taking money or, doing something wrong with money, that would be out here right now. So, my thing is, I do what I do, but I talk to a few who, I take an idea to somebody and say, hey, you know what? I walk them down. And as I'm knocking it down, they already in place to be able to come in and, do whatever it is that they need to do. But it's hard here in Flint to really find somebody, man, to really work with and really get assistance in doing what needs to be done. Because I'm not gonna lie, man, it seems like it's a lot of people here in Flint on the take, man. I'm serious. I mean, um, it's like a bunch of crumb snatchers, man. They'll take $5 instead of getting 200 million.
And see, that's the part that don't make sense to me. You know, I can. I'm like this. If I'm gonna go to prison, I'm gonna go to prison for the whole 200 million. I might get 50 up for the time I spend, but I'm coming out with 150 in my pocket. I'm not gonna go to jail for $100,000 or $1 million or even five. That's not it. It's not worth the time. It's not worth my name getting screwed over. You know, none of that.
I mean, you got elected officials, man, that got busted, man, for accepting $1,500, man, for a vote, you know, for bid rigging, for contracts. I'm, you know, I don't understand it myself, but at the same time, when I was out here on the streets, and I thank God for everything that I done been through, because it made me stronger, and had me to understand what life is, man. And I mean, I didn't had a whole bunch of money at one time. I had $300,000-$400,000 in lump sums, 100,000 over here, 200 over here. So I know what money is, man. I know what being around stars is, man. I know all that. But some people haven't had that before. Some people don't know what power is. And when they get power, they get power drunk, and here in Flint, it's like everybody, not everybody, but a lot of people here in Flint is thirsty, and they took nonprofits and turned nonprofits into businesses. They keep us down to where, they keep us, needing so that they can get the free money sent here to Flint so that they can take it all. And then they make sure that they keep the little small nonprofits in place so that it can protect them and shield them. So until we in Flint stand up and say, you know what, I'm tired of being pimped, because we keep on making millionaires out of people coming here, instead of, strapping up our boots and doing for each other. We allow people to come in and manipulate us and have us fight each other so that they can take the money, and we still sitting here eating ramen noodles and got blue tarps on our roof, paying high water bills, paying high auto insurance. Um, Public safety is at its high. Blighted areas. I mean, they go to Grand Blanc, Swartz Creek, Flint Township, another different state, Bahamas, Jamaica, and we still here, after we done made them rich.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something else. Let's switch it a little bit. Let's go to the veteran issue, and that we're both veterans. Now when it comes to transitioning out of the military, I say that it's like being a NASCAR driver and you going around the laps and doing 200 miles per hour. Once you win the race, you get all these accolades and everything. But once the race is over, they give you the keys to a Prius and tell you got to go 35 miles per hour to get home in gridlock traffic with the music blasting. That's what I relate transit to the military like, because when you're in the military, like what you were saying, your experience, your job was critical to the lives of everyone around you. You were dealing with equipment that was worth hundreds of thousands, millions, tens of millions of dollars. And get out, it's like, I'm not important no more, or I don't have, or how do I figure life out? I want to go back. I want to go back. But, the military is also one of those things you have a love-hate relationship with too. You love it and you hate it all at the same time. And everything is hurry up and wait. So what would you describe transitioning out of the military like, and what do you believe caused you to stumble into the process of ending up in prison from coming out of the military?
A lot of people don't understand, that military life. it's a volunteer. You know, you volunteer to go into the military. I understand all that. You know, we chose to go into the military. You know, that was our choice. And you know, the thing here is that transitioning out. You know, I went down to D.C. and that was one of the main fights that when I got with Congressman Rogers and started working with him. That was one of the main fights that I was fighting. You know, transition, and that's the key word here, transition. We can go out and go on reconnaissance missions and go out and kill 24 people tonight, and we ETS tomorrow, and they bring us over to the states, and we ETS. What I mean by ETS, everybody, we getting out the military. There's no debriefing. We don't see anybody. They don't. They took 3 months to train us and you know, teach us how to be a killer, but they don't take no time to, you know, deprogram us and help us to become a civilian again. They take our empathy and our sympathy, and when we get out, you know, we don't know what our, you know, what emotions we are feeling. We don't know any of that. So what I fought down in DC was, you know, at least out of the 3 months that you taught me how to be a killer, teach me how to be a civilian. So now they're starting to do it where 3 weeks before you get out the military, they house you and take you and see if you need mental health help and, you know, all this other different stuff. So, you know, that's one of the main things that I fought for. Veterans Court is something that I fought for. This last time that I was incarcerated, it helped me a whole lot, tremendously, because when I got arrested, the only thing that I can have in my cell was VA reading material. And when they did that, I learned all of 38 CFR, Code of Federal Regulations, for VA. So now, you know, if you come to me, I'll be like, George, you know, what is your disability? And whatever your disability is, I'll say, okay, on the 21-4138, your supportive claim, we need to write down your stressor on what caused your PTSD. And we got to make sure that at the end of it, we have to put 38 CFR 3.103, reasonable doubt. Basically, that's what it is. If you get a negative and a positive statement, it automatically goes to the veteran. So that's something that I learned while I was in there. So it helped me more than anything. And I feel like God put me in a position, you know, that something that was bad really was something good. So since I've been out, I've been really utilizing what I learned in my last time being incarcerated, and learning how to really help the people that's less fortunate.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. So I'm working on trying to make my I I hold on to a lot of stuff. I've gotten better, but I'm still, you know, I'm the 20, 30-year person, like, oh yeah, I remember what you did to me, you know, type person, you know, and I have an issue with letting stuff go. And, you know, like I really, and I really need to, but it's difficult. You know, it's like Habitat for Humanity. I don't want to let that go for nothing because they did me dirty. And I've never in my life, born, raised, and knew a lot of people out here in Flint in the streets. Never been robbed. Never been done dirty by nobody in Flint except for Habitat for Humanity. And I'm like, I just didn't understand it. But I say all that because I'm saying I want to turn that into a positive thing. I want to be able to build a bridge with the sour issues that I've had with my city, with Flint, in order to figure out how to make everything better than what it was going to be. You know, I was brought the situations to be able to bring over $100 million in new construction and building and all this other stuff here to Flint, to bring veteran housing and veteran better veteran hospitalization facilities here into Flint, not township, not of surrounding areas, but into Flint. And a lot of negative things happen, barriers happen, and I'm working at trying to not hold that stuff in, but into positives, in order to, instead of being $100 or $150 million worth of revenue coming into Flint specifically, but 500, a billion plus, because, you know, those are, when you're in corporate understanding, those aren't huge numbers. Those are small numbers. Look at what's going on downtown. You know, it's what, 100, 200,000, 100, $200 million worth of building. So, but this has been a great conversation, man. I appreciate the time that you spent. And, you know, I want you to, I'm going to shut up and I'm going to let you have the last word.
No, I mean, I enjoy talking with you, man. And you know what? We need to come on again, you know, on my Zoom tomorrow afternoon, and really talk about you know, the veteran piece and the mental health side of it, man. You know, because when we was talking about it just now, you know, it seems like both of us have a lot to add on that part of it, you know. And I think a lot of people here in Flint really should understand how beneficial it is, because I know both of us, you know, have been through hell and back, you know what I'm saying? And we, you know, we're not saying that we're healed. We're not saying that, you know, everything is gravy, but you know, we learned how to use some coping skills, and we're learning every day. And I think that, you know, by being veterans, I think that we can do a whole lot in that area, as far as helping some of the people here in the city of Flint, and taking away that stigma of where people think that if you speak to a therapist, you retarded, you crazy, you know, you don't have any sense and all this other stuff, you know. And I think we can be more of a beacon of hope, as far as letting people know that it's okay. You know, depression is a silent killer, and people don't understand that you know, don't make fun of the people that have that illness, you know.
Now,
Or
if you don't mind, what are you rated with the military? What is your disability rating?
100%
So you're 100% disabled through the
disabled,
military,
right.
and I'm the same. I'm 100% a UE or UI, unemployability. So it puts me in a little. But yeah, it's no joke. And I deal with the PTSD also, and the anxiety and depression things too. Like, even though this is a great conversation and everything, I'm probably gonna have some issues tonight.
No, you know, you can always call me. You know, you can always call
You'll
me,
be
man.
sleeping.
No, man, you know,
Well,
I'm up all the time. Huh?
I appreciate, but I just to let people know how that goes. You know, it's a roller coaster thing. You know,
Yeah, it is.
There's always
It really
there's
is.
always a frown behind the smile.
Yes. But I appreciate you allowing me to come on and share some of your time. I am, you know, I thank you so much. And
The
you
pleasure's
know,
mine. Appreciate you.
all right, thank you so much, George.
And everybody, that was this official second episode of OTM Out of the Mud with Flint's own Arthur Woodson. Thank you so much. We will see you next time. Have a great.
All right, take care.
All right. Yes, sir.